What's up YouTube, Zero here, and today I have a weapon blueprint review of the Authorized Destroyer, which is a weapon blueprint of the Dravec 45 in Call of Duty Black Ops 7. In this video, I'll go over the blueprint setup on this Authorized Destroyer blueprint. I'll talk about each of the attachments individually. I'll talk about what I like and don't like about the attachments for this weapon. I'll talk about the weapon in general because, of course, that always makes it different as well. I'll talk about if these attachment setups do really enhance the weapon or if they take away from it. At the end of the video, I will talk about if you should utilize this blueprint. I'll also talk about the camo that you could see in the right-hand side of the screen. Before I get into it, I do want to say if you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button for more Call of Duty Black Ops 7 content. I'm going to be coming out with a lot. Y'all know me. Y'all know I love Call of Duty. I also play some Pokemon TCG Pocket. If you do enjoy that, check out those videos as I post those as well. Without further ado, let's talk about the Dravec 45 Authorized Destroyer. And if you do have this blueprint, you'll know that there is a caption. When you look at it, it says, having graduated from the school of whoop-ass, you are now qualified to wield this weapon. So I'm sure a lot of you will be wondering, where do you unlock this blueprint for the Dravec 45? Well, the Authorized Destroyer can be unlocked by purchasing the Vault Edition for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. That's how you're going to be able to get this weapon blueprint. There's no other way. You can't grind for it. It is just purchasing the Vault Edition for Call of Duty Black Ops 7. So now let's talk about the Dravec 45 and this blueprint, the Authorized Destroyer. This is a submachine gun if you are a player who does enjoy submachine guns, but honestly, I am typically an assault rifle type of player, but this gun in general, not just this blueprint, but the Dravec 45 feels really nice. It doesn't have a lot of recoil, really easy to control and maneuver around the battlefield. You can see I'm playing on Nuketown. They brought Nuketown back. You have to in a Black Ops 7 game, of course, but I am playing on Nuketown. So it is a smaller map that does feed into a submachine gun a little bit more so than a little bit larger maps. But this gun in general, the Dravec 45, is a really nice gun. Even if you're not typically a submachine gun type player, the recoil control is there. It is a really nice gun to use. But let's talk about the weapon blueprint build, the attachment setup on the Authorized Destroyer, and talk about if it really enhances this gun or if it takes away from it, if there's a better setup for the Dravec 45. So first, you can see already as I'm aiming down the sight, the gun has an optic. So this blueprint is going to have the VAS LED, and that just increases and enhances your sight. Either you like this sight or you don't. That's really a matter of opinion. I do like the sight, very clear, not too obstructive in terms of the screen. I can still see a lot of my enemies out of my peripheral vision. So it's not a bad sight to have. It is clear, does make shooting a little bit easier. So I do like the sight. However, on certain guns, and depending upon the type of player you are, you may not necessarily need an optic. You may want a different attachment that enhances the gun a little bit better. So I understand that some players may not like optics in general, because if you can deal with the iron sights, there may be a better optic or maybe a better attachment that may increase accuracy or firepower or something else that you may want instead of just the optic. So this is one that players may take or leave. I do enjoy this optic. Doesn't take away really from the gun. The iron sight actually isn't too bad, but this is a decent optic for the gun. The next attachment on this weapon, on this Authorized Destroyer, is going to be a muzzle. And so the muzzle is going to be the Hawker Series 45. All this does is going to enhance your vertical recoil control. No cons on this attachment, so that's really nice. It does make it more accurate. The vertical recoil control isn't always the hardest to control. It's more the horizontal recoil control that does get a little bit harder to control. However, as I mentioned earlier, the Dravec 45 is a really nice gun, even without any attachments. I was running around with this gun earlier without any attachments, so I could compare this weapon blueprint to the gun in general. And it wasn't hard to control. It's a very nice gun, doesn't have a ton of recoil, but this really does enhance the recoil control, makes it a lot more accurate, makes it a lot more straight, easier to aim at your targets, especially in those medium range combat scenarios that you might get into with a submachine gun. So this was a nice attachment to have, and I did enjoy this attachment. Again, makes the gun easier to shoot, more accurate. You see in this video, I did take out a lot of enemies a lot easier because I was having that easier recoil control on this gun. So I do like this attachment for the gun. Next is going to be a barrel, and this is actually a really nice barrel for the gun. The 19 EAM Horizon barrel, and what this does is going to increase your damage range. What that does is going to make it easier to kill enemies over those little bit longer ranges. So you have a muzzle and you have an optic that's going to make it a little bit easier to kill enemies over the ranges. The optic is going to allow you to see more clearly. The muzzle is going to enhance your recoil control. Now your barrel is going to enhance your damage range. So that's going to be really nice, especially over those medium range combat scenarios where you're probably going to be getting into a lot of gunfights with players who wield assault rifles. So now you have a scenario where you can take on those opponents that have medium, longer range guns. You're going to be doing okay in those scenarios. On top of still being okay in the shorter range scenarios, since this is a submachine gun, and none of the attachments, at least to this point, have any cons. You're just enhancing the gun. So now you're enhancing the gun so it's a little bit better over the medium and longer range gun battles, but you're not taking away from anything in terms of the closer range battles. So far, so good in terms of the attachments. And what's nice about these attachments is they all play well with each other. Sometimes weapon blueprint attachments, they're just random. They don't play well with each other. They enhance one area and take away from a different area, and they don't just really go well with each other. So far, these attachments are really set up so they all go well with each other, which is something I really look for in a blueprint, is that they all go well with each other. So far, so good. Now the next attachment is going to be a magazine. This magazine is going to be your Gator extended mag. So what this does is just going to increase your magazine ammo capacity. So that's going to be nice. Of course, you're getting a little bit more bullets in your mag, which if you're being inaccurate, if you're facing a lot of enemies at once, you're going to have the opportunity to either kill more enemies or at least fire more shots before you have to reload. So if you are in a scenario, maybe you're inaccurate, maybe your game's lagging and you're just not hitting your bullets for whatever reason, or you're facing a lot of enemies because you could be in a closer range combat scenario, such as on Nuketown, where you may not want to reload right away, the enhanced magazine is going to be really nice. So I do really like that. Is really a fantastic increase. Magazine increase sizes, especially on those smaller maps, are going to be really nice. So I like that about this gun. What you're going to get is, you can see in the bottom right hand corner, the enhanced mag is going to be 48 bullets. The normal size mag of the Dravec 45 is going to be 36. So you're increasing by 12 bullets, which can actually be really substantial, regardless of if you're in a longer range combat scenario or a shorter range combat scenario. So another very good attachment for this gun. And last but not least, this does have 5 attachments. You have a rear grip, the Herald Z1 grip. And so what this is going to do, your dive to fire speed, your slide to fire speed, your aim down sight speed, and jumping aim down sight speed are all going to be enhanced. So your movement speed is going to be a little bit nicer. That's going to help you out in some of the closer range scenarios. The aim down sight speed really in any scenario, because aiming down sight, as long as you're aiming down sight, getting those bullets off a little bit quicker, you're going to be hitting your opponent quicker, and you may set yourself up for a good advantage. Overall, this attachment setup is really nice. No cons on any of the attachments, so that's nice. It's just enhancing the weapon, and they really coincide well with the weapon itself. A couple of the attachments are going to help you out with some of the medium to longer range combats, and then a couple of the attachments are just going to help you out in general. The enhanced magazine size, that can help you out in close range scenarios, it can help you out in long range scenarios, so that's really nice. And then the rear grip is going to help you out moving around the map, especially in those smaller maps. That's going to be really nice, especially on a nuke town, some of the smaller maps that you're going to really need the enhanced movement speed. So that's nice as well. Overall, a really great attachment setup. And what this does is it enhances the damage range. Your recoil gun kick is better by 17%. Your vertical recoil control is better by 18%. Your aim down sight speed is enhanced by 12%. Your jump aim down sight speed is enhanced by 12%. Your slide to fire speed is enhanced by 20%. And your dive to fire speed is enhanced by 20%. So a really great overall build for this gun. Now, the camo itself, in the top right hand corner, you either love it or you don't. I actually really love this. It looks really futuristic and neat, so I love this camo. Great gun, great camo. Definitely recommend checking it out. Let me know in the comments section what you think of the Dravec 45 and this blueprint. Let's talk anything Call of Duty. Until next time, peace.